How you doing? So I thought of other videos I could make, other videos that actually I should be making and I will be making, but editing and putting those videos together is very it's not that I don't want to do it, because I do, and I am literally am going to do it. It's that, do you want the video today or do you want the video in 2 days? Because it'll take that long to get it ready. So I'm just making this video very quickly just because this is new and current stuff, and why not talk about the stuff that I'm looking at on the screen right now. So we have the Pokemon news, big news, or whatever you want to call it, where they officially announced a bunch of things that weren't officially announced before. I have all of them on the screen. As I talk about them, they'll pop up right here. There's not going to be anything there. So first thing I want to talk about is the Blastoise. So Blastoise, I don't know. I don't really like the design. I feel like they couldn't really think of a way to get one big cannon or even a few big cannons. They're like, well, he has two, well, let's give him dozens of cannons, which don't know, not crazy about that design. Next we have the Inteleon one, which we have already seen a bunch of times. Something that I noted, something that I can note about all three of the, actually I'll just say this. The thing I know about all three, 1, 2, 3, of the G-Max starters for Galar is that they all are small with big things about them. So Inteleon is on a big tower, but otherwise it's the same size, right? And then we have Cinderace, who is the exact same thing. Same size, one big thing about it, and then the giant fireball. And then Grookey, he'll always be Grookey to me. His name is Rillaboom. Rillaboom's G-Max is just sort of just a really big drum set, and then of course the one big thing is the grass arms that come out and sort of just play the drums, I guess. As opposed to Charizard, Venusaur, Blastoise, who all get they get supersized. They're Dynamaxed with the form change, which is called Gigantamax. But I thought that was odd, and they definitely do stand out because of that. Then we have not a G-Max, but we have Galarian Slowbro, who I am a little bit he's here. I am a little bit disappointed, and I'll tell you why. It's because I got a shiny Slowpoke, Galar Slowpoke, and I was really, really hoping for a Ghost type. I still think that the Slowking variant is going to be a Ghost type. I really do think it's going to be a Ghost type. But, there's also that chance it's going to be poison, so, Poison just like Slowbro is. So I am a little bit disappointed with that. It's not a bad design, I'll say that. I just got my hopes up. The design is interesting because with Slowpoke over here, you can sort of see that they're sort of like, it can go on the tail or it can go on the head, which is like the classic Slowpoke, like you use the King's Rock or you use the just the water stone. I think it's water stone. To make it evolve. Of course, in Slowbro you have him not on either of those spots, which I think is pretty cool. He doesn't actually look that different from Slowbro. Just maybe a little bit more. Maybe he didn't skip arm day, I guess. He's got thicker arms. Last but not least, we have Venusaur, who doesn't really look that different from regular Venusaur, just more of the same. Sad to say. I mean, what can I say about it? It just, it looks like Venusaur, and Mega Venusaur also just kind of looked like a small variation of Venusaur, whereas you have Blastoise and Charizard who get these big form differences where it's like, that's definitely different. And then you see this one, it's like, yeah, it's different, but it's not that different. It's just the flower's a little bit bigger. His vines are always out as opposed to not constantly being out. What can I say? So, the Tundra DLC. So we got Articuno. I'll just quickly go run through these because they're kind of throwaway because we don't actually know that much about them yet. Articuno looks like that one guy from Sailor Moon. You know who I'm talking about. Calyrex. Don't know what to think about Calyrex yet. Don't particularly like Calyrex. There's probably going to be something about... There's got to be something about it, right? Some sort of story element to it. Calyrex is I'm losing my Pokemon names. It's the Necrozma to Solgaleo and Lunala. It's the Giratina to Palkia and Dialga. You know, it's the third Pokemon, the third legend. So it's not super... Usually the third is really interesting and really cool and a fan favorite. I don't know. I sort of feel like Zacian or Zamazenta are going to pull through with the fan favorite of the trio. So we have Galarian Zapdos, who just a really cool design. I'm really glad that they really branched out and were like, let's go with something, let's completely change their type. I mean, at this point, these are just completely different Pokemon. Like, they're not related to the regular Zapdos and Moltres and Articuno, except for the name and vague appearance. I'd have to say, I think the one that's the closest is Articuno. Articuno just sort of looks like Articuno with a mask on. And, what can you say about that? It's just a little bit the same. Don't know what to say about Articuno. I've heard people, Austin John Plays, say that Articuno was so cool, and I was like, I also like Articuno, but I don't think it's the coolest out of the three. I feel like it's, again, it looks like Articuno with a mask, which is, it's like Party Hat Pikachu. Party Hat Pikachu isn't that different from regular Pikachu, except maybe it has, Party Hat Pikachu isn't a different type, but, Articuno is a different type. It has a mask. If that does it for you, then cool. Zapdos, on the other hand, completely changes, completely different typing, and just such a cool design. And it really pops. Like, the colors on it really pop. The dark parts and the orange, it's so good. My favorite out of the bunch, though, Moltres. Absolutely Moltres. And this is actually the one that Austin John didn't like. He thought this one was dumb, and I don't understand it. I tried to understand why he thought it would look stupid, but I just don't get it. Because to me, out of the three birds, like, Zapdos looks really cool, but it's not as cool. It's more like just a really neat design. Like, I really do like the design of Zapdos, But just Moltres, the way it is with the dark and the fire, it's so perfect for what it is. It's like a dark phoenix. Like just look at that and just be like just rise, dark phoenix, rise. It's such a good design. I don't know, Austin. Why do you gotta hate on Moltres so much? Is it because he's not first? I don't know. You don't like Moltres that much? Okay, I see you. The Reggies, the two Reggies that we got, here and here, or maybe just one. We'll just do one. Reggie Alecki, or I guess, that's the way people have been saying it, Reggie Alecki, but I feel like it's Reggie Lecky, because they're like, well, no, because see, it's Regieleci, but I feel like you can say Reggie, like, Reggie from Nintendo of America, like Regie, Reggie Lecky, Leci. So I feel like it still rolls through with the Reggie. So Reggie Lecky versus Reggie Lecky, which makes more sense for the typing, which is electric, but nah, I like saying Reggie Lecky. Just feel like it works with the it flows better as a name. I'm sure we'll get an official how to say it later on. Reminds me of clear back in the day where people were like, man, I'm trying to think of a Pokemon that was hard to, like, Tauros, like people would say those names and say them weird, and it's like, no, well, there is a right way to say that name that we didn't know back then. Classic Rayquaza shenanigans. Speaking of dragons, we have the dragon, the Regidrago. Really love the design of Regidrago. I didn't know what to think at first. I was like, that looks sort of Kerjankity, but it like turns into a dragon head that fires an energy beam. I mean, you can't really, like, out of the two, that's my favorite. Gang, unite, #SSN. She stole my girlfriend. And that's it. I'll catch you all on the flip side.